While photo modes are becoming increasingly common in major releases, there are relatively few games that put photography front and center. Pokémon Snap for the N64 did just that, allowing you to go on a virtual safari documenting a diverse array of lovable critters. It was a cult favorite that seemed like a one-off experiment, but after decades of dormancy, new Pokémon Snap is here to finally bring dreams of a sequel to life. The fundamentals of Pokémon Snap haven't changed much. You're primarily focused on taking pictures of Pokémon as they exhibit various behaviors, and you do so while riding on rails through the environment with limited control of your speed or direction. What's worth noting is you really don't have to be a die-hard Pokémon fan to enjoy it, and you don't need to be worried that you're not up to date with the latest Pokédex entries. In fact, more limited familiarity can prove just as effective since it's fun to discover new creatures you've never seen before, and exciting when you do come across something you recognize. As long as you enjoy observing cute wildlife, you should have a good time. There is a brief story with a few cutscenes, but it's essentially just connective tissue to introduce you to new regions. You play as a research assistant to Professor Mirror, who's investigating the Illumina phenomena found throughout the islands of the Lental region. The professor grades your work, introduces you to new tools, and from time to time sends you to document one of the rare Illumina Pokémon that essentially serve as boss encounters. The quality of your photos matters, and at the end of each journey, you're graded based on a set of rigorous criteria, including size, framing, and timing, to capture specific Pokémon behaviors. Since you move automatically and the Pokémon you encounter are also on the move, it can be tricky to get close or to get the right angle. The pace is equal parts calming and frantic, as you might leisurely scout an area in one moment, only to find creatures darting around you in opposite directions the next. However, problem solving and figuring out how to get the perfect shot is a big part of the fun. It's satisfying to get an elusive diamond ranking from the professor, but it's hard not to hold a little bit of a grudge when he holds back points on a picture you're really proud of. To fully complete your photodex, you also need to document 4 specific behaviors per Pokémon, each represented by a star level, which can be a little confusing at first. Sometimes this can be as simple as snapping a shot of a Pokémon eating or sleeping, while other situations can be more elusive, requiring you to set up a chain of events, or catch 2 Pokémon interacting at a particular place and time. To witness many of these activities, you need to use various tools introduced throughout the adventure. Apple-like fluff fruit can be thrown at Pokémon to either feed them or simply bop them on the head. A music player broadcasts a small jingle that some creatures dance to, and scanning your environment can help you gather clues or uncover branching routes, allowing you to explore new territory. Sometimes these tools don't elicit any sort of reaction at all, so it takes experimentation and deduction to determine what to use and when. Capturing these moments is certainly more rewarding than getting a static shot of an animal just standing in place, but determining what counts as new behavior isn't always clear. Even more frustrating is that when it comes time to turn in your photos, you can only submit a single photo of each Pokémon at a time, even if you've captured several different behaviors on one run. Plus, you often have to choose between selecting an improved photo of a pose you've already documented, or a less impressive photo of something brand new. A run through each level only takes 4 to 5 minutes, but returning to levels is a core part of the design. You go through them again and again, focusing on different Pokémon, trying to get different reactions, and rooting out more secretive elements. The combined photodex score of your photos contributes to an overall ranking for each location, and these routes level up with high enough scores. Level 2 or 3 of a route will have Pokémon positioned in different areas or exhibiting new behaviors. It might open up branching paths, or it might reveal new Pokémon altogether. Most of the locations also have night variants that drastically shake up the populations, and you can easily select between different variants from the map screen. The biggest issue that comes with this design is that new locations unlock somewhat sporadically. There can be times when you have no choice but to repeatedly return to places you've already been, then suddenly 3 new zones will open up. And sometimes vague hints don't always make it clear what the next goal is. As if there wasn't already enough incentive to return to places you've already been, requests from other characters task you with going back and getting shots of very precise moments. There are well over 100 requests in all, many of which lead to some of the most worthwhile and surprising interactions in the game, and they often point you in the right direction to evoke behaviors needed to complete your photodex. When you piece together the clues, it's great, but the trouble is that the hints can be frustratingly vague. You'll often hand in a shot you think is exactly what somebody wanted, only to find out that you're wrong and need to run back through the whole course to try something else. Repeat this process a few times, and it's all too easy to find yourself looking up guides for solutions you never would have guessed. Rounding out the game's features is the ability to customize and tweak your photos. Aside from the photodex, there's a separate album to keep favorite pics regardless of score, and when saving them, you can re-snap for better framing and make other minor tweaks. You can then go into the album to apply different filters, stickers, and frames that are unlocked as you progress and fulfill requests. Then, once you have a portfolio you like, you can pop some shots onto your online profile and check out what other people have posted. One nice detail is that by default, online photos of any Pokémon you haven't discovered yet are kept wrapped up to avoid spoilers. With its emphasis on repeating areas and tackling optional objectives, new Pokémon Snap can conceivably be beaten in under 10 hours, or it could take you more than 20. Seeing the credits doesn't lock you out of anything, and there's some post-game extras. What's nice is that no matter when you decide to finish, there's likely to be plenty left to do and discover. While players looking to check off all the boxes have their work cut out for them, a more casual approach to new Pokémon Snap really allows you to take things at your own pace, going down the rabbit holes you enjoy and ignoring the ones you don't. Vague direction and limits on how many photos you can turn in at a time can get in the way, but overall it's a warm, peaceful trip as you discover these creatures in the wild and search out all the different ways they interact. Final score, 8 out of 10. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.